Hello and welcome to Words and Pixels. This is going to be episode 2 of Writing Words, which is a series where I just kind of talk about my own projects that are going on. I figured just so it could be a diary that I could look back on one day. November was a crazy month for me, and I'm so sorry I did not get to post all of the videos that I was hoping to post. I had really wanted to do like a day in the life writing vlog, and that just never materialized. I actually ended up using the camera that I am filming on right now and that I usually film my vlogs on for a project at work. So it was at my job for most of the month, and I was actually editing on my Mac that I usually edit on at that job as well. So because I was using my personal equipment for other things, I didn't really have it around and available to do some vlogs and videos, which is unfortunate. I really wanted to go all out for NaNoWriMo season, but I guess I'll have to save some of those ideas for Camp NaNoWriMo. The Android video is almost finished. I already set up a lot of the apps for screen capture and wrote the script, and I'm actually going to be filming the video itself right after this. So that should be out to you guys definitely by the end of the month. And I also have 2 Scribbler boxes to unbox, so I'm going to do a double unboxing, which is also going to come out this month. But before I do all that, I wanted to just get everybody caught up on NaNoWriMo and what happened during NaNoWriMo season and how it all ended up working out for me. So before November started, I'd say about midway through October, I actually changed the project that I was working on. I was originally going to do this untitled YA romance story for Wattpad, and I just didn't have enough of the pieces together for it. I had some vague ideas for characters and what I wanted the plot to be like, but something wasn't clicking into place. I can't really describe what it was, but there just seems like there's an element of it missing and not quite there yet. So I'm just going to put that one on the back burner to percolate a little more. I do want to do it. I do definitely want to do a story for Wattpad. So I think maybe for Camp NaNoWriMo, I will start on another project idea that I have for that. But that did leave me in the position where I wasn't sure what project I was going to work on for NaNoWriMo. And so I kind of went through my list of all the potential projects that I had in mind, and I ended up going with one that is called the Nightmare Initiative. And the idea of it is that it's about a girl who lives in a world where people create dreams and nightmares for humanity. And she comes from a family of people who make dreams. They're called dream weavers. They craft dreams. And she decides that she's going to take an internship making nightmares instead. So it's all about how her family deals with that decision and how she kind of goes through learning the process of making nightmares. She has 2 mentors to guide her who are both kind of a little bit eccentric, and she's just kind of adjusting to this major life decision that she's made for herself. So it's a fun project. I really had a fun time working on it. I did finish NaNoWriMo. I hit my goal of 50,000 words. I think it was a little over 50,000 words, if I remember. And the last day I actually finished was on Thanksgiving. There was just a period of time where my family, after we had had dinner and, guests left and stuff, we had decided that everybody was just going to take a little nap before we got together and watched some Christmas movies. And that gave me the perfect amount of time while everyone was napping to just bang out my last, couple thousand words or whatever. And yeah, I was able to finish and just upload my word count. And I wasn't expecting to have that writing session that day. I had already done a writing session early in the morning before the parade started. I had just done that just to get in my writing session so I can enjoy Thanksgiving, not work on writing at all. But then when I just had that little lull, I wasn't really sleepy. So I figured I would just go ahead and do some writing, and I was able to finish. So that was exciting. I was surprised by how well this story came together. I usually really struggle during NaNoWriMo, especially with plot, but I feel like this story worked, and I'm not sure why. There's definitely some major changes that I'm going to be making in the next draft, and I can already see what some of those changes are. I am going to give it a cool down period of about 3 months before I come back to the draft and I actually start making the changes. But yeah, I was just genuinely surprised by how well that project flowed. I remember when I was working on the draft for Legendary, that didn't flow. I really struggled with that. I had a very hard time putting that story together. And with this Nightmare Initiative, it just seemed to work. Things just clicked into place. I think the reason it was a little different was because I had a very clear vision of the main character and what she wanted and why she was doing what she was doing. And she's the type of character that makes decisions. They're not always the best decisions, but she does make very drastic and life-altering decisions. So it worked. She would make decisions and then there would be fallout to discuss and to explore with the plot, and it just would make new problems arise, and just the plot came together very naturally, I felt like. Again, still changes I want to make, a lot of changes that I think need to happen. It is far from being a finished draft. I would say it's still a zero draft. You know, the writing's very rough. I made some creative decisions along the way that are inconsistent with like details that are earlier in the story, so that all has to be polished out. But I think it's workable, and that's the thing that I was surprised. You know, as I was kind of looking back on it real quick after I had finished NaNoWriMo, I was like, yeah, I think this could work. So we'll see how that project ends up. But for right now, moving forward, what I'm going to be doing is taking Legendary, which is the project that I had presented in the last episode of the Writing Word series, and we're just going to see what happens with that project. That was in its first/second draft when I moved towards NaNoWriMo prep. I've had a good amount of time away from it now. I would say the last time I really worked very seriously on it was early September, and now it's December. So it had a decent amount of time to cool off while I was doing my prep for Nano. And I think it's ready to go into its next draft. So I'm right now sitting down with it, going through the draft that was there and making notes and deciding what kind of changes I want to make for future drafts. So I think my winter goal is probably going to be to work on that and kind of get that into a better shape. Have a more polished draft by the end that I can really work with and kind of get into some micro editing with. So we'll see how that goes. So that'll be for winter. I'll be working on Legendary. After that, we'll have to see how I'm feeling. If I want to jump into Camp NaNoWriMo, I can. I usually don't do April and July. I usually pick April or July. I feel like it's too much to do both. So we'll see how I'm feeling by that point. You know, if I have the Legendary draft finished, which I probably won't, but if I do have it finished, then I will probably go back to the Nightmare Initiative and maybe start the next draft of that. Or I might decide by that point I am ready for a new project and I could do another first draft of a new project. I would really, really like to draft a Wattpad project because I really want to share something on Wattpad. I think it's a cool community. I really like some of the work that I've seen on there and I kind of want to take a stab at it myself. So we'll see. It really depends if I feel like I have something in good shape by that point. You know, if I have an idea that's fully formed, and there is one idea I have that is a little further along in the process, so we'll give that a shot. We'll see what happens. That's it for this video. Sorry it was so short, but I just wanted to give everybody a quick update on where I'm at. And now that I have all my camera equipment back home, hopefully the next video will not take too long to post. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Bye!